So firstly, I want to talk about the events from yesterday. Now, of course, in Melbourne, Melbourne is leading the charge with the freedom movement in Australia, but also around the world. Imagine this. If there was 400,000 people there yesterday and 400,000 people there last weekend, that is over 8% of the entire Victorian population. Now, when you compare that with the freedom movement around the world, this is the biggest and most persistent freedom movement in the world. Why? Probably because Victoria has had the worst lockdown in the world as well. And what this shows us is that if you push people far enough, even Australians who are all about she'll be right, if you push people far enough, they will react. So this is a message of hope for the rest of the world to see that we have been pushed against the wall and we are reacting. And it is so beautiful to see. What I also noticed is the mainstream media are starting to actually tell the truth about these protests. They're not using words like radicals or terrorists or extremists. They're not even using the word anti-vaxxer, I noticed. They're actually telling the truth that I've seen. They've said hundreds of thousands. And I've also seen footage from the sky that is accurate, not just zooming in so that they only see a certain segment of the crowd. They're actually showing really great aerial photography and videos. And this made me think, what has changed? Why? Okay, so I thought about it for a moment and then I realized that the freedom movement is now too big to ignore. It's working. It's absolutely working. The mainstream media, they rely on views. They rely on being popular. And so do the members of parliament. And guess what? Scott Morrison is starting to try and, say the right words to appease the freedom movement. So is the mainstream media. So are many politicians. Some of them are genuine, by the way. I'm not saying that all of them are just going with the popular opinion. But what I have realized is that 400,000 people on the streets cannot be ignored, especially 2 weeks in a row. This is a massive win. The freedom movement is now a legitimate force to be reckoned with. And I mean that in a peaceful way, of course. We are voters, we are viewers, we are part of the economy, we pay for things, we work. We are just everyday people who just want our lives back. And they are starting to realize that this is a really exciting time. And it will be very interesting to see how Daniel Andrews plans to get through this pandemic bill in its current form with a movement so big. Members of parliament don't want to support anything that goes against this movement, I don't think. I think they're starting to realize that, we are not the silent majority anymore. We are just the majority and we're being loud about it. So this is a really exciting turn of events.